Hey guys, what's going on? You got Matt here, coach of the London Luxray, and I'm here to bring you my Week 10 team builder versus Kyle, coach of the Waterloo Weaviles. So, going back to Week 2 is when we last played him. Very disappointing loss, first loss of the season. Um, but I learned some very good lessons from that battle, and I got two new Pokemon on this team that are ready to make an impact. Um, I basically scrapped half the team because I realized that um, he's been using Mega Skeptile a lot. I still, at this moment, don't know if he's bringing Skeptile or if he's bringing Charizard. But as you see, like his team's on the right, yeah, the right, um, and it's the exact same team as we faced week 2. Um, so it's gonna be an interesting battle. I'm gonna show you my team in a bit, but I have a tendency to make these pretty long, which I'm going to try to make it shorter. But the ones he brought, I'm going to bold the ones he brought last week, or week 2. He brought Absol. I tried to get into his head for this game, trying to think what would Kyle do. Um, I do hear Sean was helping him last week, so if Kyle's getting some team advice from Sean, that could be a little scary. It did help me against my last week win, but um, I have been testing this team out a little bit, and it looks like it's just gonna shit on Kyle. Um, let's hope it works, but I'm gonna. So the lessons I learned were, um, first of all, I spent the whole week team building for Charizard X. Then Thursday or Friday night, he was like, "Oh no, I'm bringing Skeptile," which shocked me because I thought, okay, he's bringing Charizard, but I just don't think he's not he I don't think he's just missing the experience with Charizard X. I feel so. I'm strongly thinking he's gonna bring Skeptile, and if I were to say italicize the Pokemon that he's gonna be bringing, um, yeah, control. Skeptile is one. Thundurus is one. This is assuming he's bringing Mega Skeptile, but I don't see why he won't. Gastrodon is one of the best counters to Keldeo I've found this season. Um, I am running something to counter it this week, but Gastrodon is doing well. Sylveon does well against Scissor. It invites in, it invites it in, but then the hidden power fire just wrecks me. Between if he's running like say Expert Belt or something, and not Specs, I can't OHKO it with a Bullet Punch. First of all, no matter even if unless I ran like adamant full attack, but I don't want to do that. So um, that's why I'm seeing Sylveon will be, and he's brought it a lot too. So like I'm seeing that will be a good thing to prep for. Gastron again, Thundurus is annoying as hell, Skeptile, and the fifth Pokemon. What did I have? I think it's Hitmontop. Getting into Kyle's head, he's not one to. How do I say it? He's not one to. He's one to learn from his mistakes. Um, he is a VGC player. He started competitive battling as a VGC player, so he doesn't know the effect hazards have. But I'm pretty sure these last 9 weeks he's learned the effect hazards have because I played so bad against him in week 2, but I almost won because he didn't prepare for hazards. Um, this week I'm bringing the hazards again, as you see with the Tentacruel, with the Gore, with the Garchomp, but Gourgeist is going to be a huge part. He'll be more important than the actual hazard setters themselves. You'll see why. Um, then again, let's see. The last Pokemon, no idea. He brought Absol last week, last game against me because of the um, some VGC strat where it's like a Focus Sash counter, but and it's a valid moveset, but with hazards that got slaughtered. Charizard normal got slaughtered, so if he's bringing Charizard without the Mega, he's probably bringing Hitmontop. Um, so those 5 I'm pretty confident in. Um, and really like it. I don't see. I can't think of a viable reason for his other Pokemon. Um, he might bring Suicune, he might bring Glade, like it could be anyone. So I'm just gonna build for those five is what I did, and then the rest of my team make sure they can cover that sixth Pokemon, whoever it is. So without further ado, I'm just gonna hop into this team right here because, and now like just because I don't know what Mega he's bringing, so that might change a bit, but also the fact that I built this team during class. I didn't really have time to damage calc stuff, and then because I mean I have a busy week, so like I'm probably not gonna touch this team much, but I might do a bit of calcs when I have breaks because I have to study for a test Thursday. Um, so I might switch up the EV sets, maybe switch up a little bit of stuff, but if I remember, I'll explain that in the video. Um, but without further ado, first hazard setter of the team, Selgor, most likely going to be my lead. I do want to get Cynthia out and get those get the rocks up when you see that, but I feel a Selgor is a good lead. He might expect a Selgor though, so I might want to do something else. Like if he brings Weavile and I have a Selgor, he might bring the fake out Ice Shard set, which could be bad. That might kill me, but other than that, I feel Peanut's a good lead. Thundurus, I might switch the Focus Sash for a Lumberry because Thundurus is as powerful as it is. He might throw a T-Wave on my way. I don't really want this thing paralyzed. But its moveset's pretty straightforward. You got Spikes, Giga Drain, Bug Buzz, Encore. Um, Spikes, like I said, you'll see why I'm hazard stacking. If it's not obvious that his only hazard removals are Hitmontop and Charizard, then you'll see later once I introduce Gorgeist. But Bug Buzz and Giga Drain, they've got good coverage. They hit Sceptile. I speed tie Sceptile. They can hit Weavile. They don't really touch, but they touch like Gastrodon and Suicune, which is important. They hit Trevenant too, and Absol. Like they hit a fair amount, but it's not really his offensive power I'm looking towards. It's more of I might even switch his special attack to health, because like I don't really need the special attack. Um, I'm better off trying to live hits, which is actually something I might do. But I like making these videos. They allow me to decide whether my move ideas are good or not. But yeah, in Encore, it's just like it's nothing more than say I don't think he has a rock setter, but like say he goes for rocks the first turn and I go for spikes, I hit Encore and like you're trapped into that. If he goes for a recover, I can trap him into wasting recovers. I can Encore Suicune into rests. I can Encore Suicune into Calm Minds. I can Encore Suicune no Calm Mind, switch to Cynthia and Dragon Tail it out of there. Um, it's just I figured it's better than what's it, Final Gambit. I don't want Selgor really dying. I want this more to get the spikes out. So I figured that was a decent set. Um, go to my next Pokemon. Again, the EV sets. I'm not really going to talk about them because I'll talk more about why they're in the slot they are rather than um, much about them. But this one I did a little bit of calcing for. It with one layer of spikes and stealth rocks, it bullet punch Oko's Sylveon. And I mean, it might be very specific why, oh, one layer of spikes, one layer of stealth rocks. But like, if I can get that about 25% damage off of hazards, then I can switch Sarah into Sylveon and then just kill it. No matter even if it goes Hidden Power Fire. That's why I'm special defensive, because this is switching into the likes of Sceptile, the likes of Sylveon, even I don't want to switch into Suicune, but even stuff like Thundurus. That's what it's meant for. It's not meant to be physical, but I mean, it can switch into, say, an Absol or Galade's knockoff. It can switch into a Weavile's knockoff. I'm not sure how much my Bullet Punch will do to it, but it should do a fair amount. But other than that, yeah, it's meant, because, like, its physical defense is, like, crazy high anyways. So I can take some hits physically. I have investment in the health stat, too. And then the moveset, Pretty common with what I've been running. U-turn allows me to, in case he brings Charizard, or say what else brings Sylveon, which it allows me to do the get in get out kind of idea. Come in, get some damage off, threaten something out, but then get the leverage by or momentum is the word. Roost is, sorry, my phone's fucking bothering me. I'll see what it is. It's probably you guys. Part of it is, yeah. I've been messaging some people about the team. Um, um, what was that? Yeah. Okay. No, I know where I was. Knockoff is just a good move. I was debating on some stuff like Sword Stance, but with Gastrodon Suicune, since I'm expecting him to bring one of the two, I'm expecting him to bring Thundurus, and Sceptile, I think, also resists Steel. No, wait, or Charizard. So I would have to kill like 2 or 3 things for sure on his team before I could Sword Stance, Bullet Punch, Sweep. And I'm like, do I want to do that? I am planning one day to run a Bullet Punch Sword Stance team. And if you're the recipient of that team, sorry about that, but this isn't the right matchup for it. It's that simple. Knockoff and Roost allows me to take more hits, get at maximum health. Knockoff, losing an item is always good. Bullet Punch and U-turn, I was talking about that. Mainly a Sylveon Weavile check, and Bullet Punch is just priority. And with this team, with the hazards, priority is going to be important. I think I have 2 or 3 priority mons on this team, just because if things are getting worn down, I switch. I guarantee kills. I'm only missing Pursuit. I wish I had that on a fast Pokemon. So like if I had a Weavile on this team instead of Scizor, or instead of say a Weavile instead of even I don't know. Actually, I don't think I'd want to switch any Pokemon on this team out, but a good Pursuit Mon would be good, or even Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is a good Pursuit Pokemon. Um, Next Pokemon got Spooks here. Um, I was running I was running a Will-O-Wisp on it instead of Psychic, and no, instead of Giga Drain, and I had Rock Slide instead of Psychic, but I figured I thought the idea behind it was that um, I'd switch this into Hitmontop. He wouldn't do anything to me. He'd switch out into Thundurus, and I'd have a way to hit Thundurus. But I was practicing with Chris, and it didn't really look like Thundurus was getting the switch in, and I wasn't catching it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna put my only move as Rock Slide because it might hurt me rather than help me. So I'm just gonna go Psychic so I can hit the Hitmontop, Giga Drain because I can hit Suicune, I can hit Gastron, I can get health, which I might even switch that to Synthesis. The only problem is if a Gastron was toxic, I'd rather. The fact that Gastron can and may run toxic is the reason I'd prefer Giga Drain because it's gonna do damage where Synthesis is just gonna delay the inevitable. Protect Leech Seed leftovers, man, like it's just gonna keep me at a high amount of health, and literally his only viable hazard removal is Hitmontop's Rapid Spin. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the mechanics, but Rapid Spinning a Ghost Pokemon is ineffective, which means the hazards are not removed. So anytime Hitmontop comes in at all, um, Spooks comes out immediately, and I can throw off a Leech Seed. It hits everyone but Sceptile and Trevenant. He hasn't brought Trevenant. I doubt he's switching Sceptile in on a Spooks. Um, I might even switch that to Hidden Power Ice. Actually, I think, because like I might switch it to Hidden Power Ice because I'll explain why I don't want Psychic right now. The only thing that Chris was able to counter this with was a Expert Belt Technician Hitmontop with Aerial Ace, and a crit on this guy did 64. So imagine like it's a crit, Technician boosted, um, Expert Belt boosted, Aerial Ace. That's super effective, and it did 64 on a crit. So like this thing is just walling. Um, it's just walling him on top. I can see its item. If I realize it's banded and he goes for the Aerial Ace, he has to go for Aerial Ace. At this point, Rapid Spin is no option for him. Switch into Scizor, take the hit. Switch into Clifford, lowers attack, take the hit. Even Garchomp, it's got a rough Rocky Helmet, you'll see. Uh, basically this thing is gonna be Kyle's Achilles heel. It's gonna switch in every time Hitmontop comes in, and he is not gonna get his hazards away. If he's bringing a defog Charizard, I'm making sure I get my rocks up because that Charizard coming in losing half its health just to defog is a fair trade. Um, I'll go to my next Pokemon I threw specially defensive on it just because. I might make it physically defensive though because it hasn't really been taking special hits. Actually, I'm gonna do that. It's been taking the physical hits, and this way, even if he does run a aerial ace on Hitmontop, I can at least take more than 64%. I mean, like that's still really good for a crit, but if I can lower it to like 50, then maybe it'll be better. Um, Less than 50, so I can get Leech Seed off, and then I can get Protecting, and then I can switch out to something. Fourth Pokemon though, Clifford, the Ducky. Um, uh, Without a doubt, the MVP on my team these past 2 weeks. Brandon and Alex can both attest to it. It's basically outstalled when it needed to. It's put in its its offensive effort when needed to. It's roared when it's done what it had to when I needed it. Um, I think I've run both special and physical, but attacking. But the physically defensive intimidate set, plus the fact I can run flash fire. So knowing that um, Pokemon can't 100% click a fire move, um, which is useful. Which it's pretty useful. Um, Extreme speed is the priority I was talking about earlier. Just because with all these hazards, the fact that I can lower his Pokemon's health down so easily, and then I can just go and I can click Arcanine. Chris made a joke that why is Arcanine and Entei the same Pokemon, which is kind of funny, but um, I almost called him Entei. But yeah, Clifford, Morning Sun, Will-O-Wisp. I can catch stuff like if I catch Weavile in on the Will-O-Wisp, I catch what else? Trevenant, Gastrodon, Gallade. I had Will-O-Wisp on both, but I realized I was clicking Will-O-Wisp too often, and then I was burning stuff I already burnt. And this way also with the Toxic Spikes, I won't always need to do that. It's just it's good for a Thundurus switch in. And if I don't have my Toxic Spikes out yet, I still have the opportunity or the potential to burn stuff. Um, Flare Blitz, just hard hitting move. Morning Sun allows me to keep my health up. And physically defensive, like I said, because it counters Skeptile. Unless it's like a physically attacking Skeptile, its Earthquake's only gonna do 20 with the Intimidate drop. Electivire, same thing. It's not gonna do shit. Weavile, I doubt will do much. I'm still scared of Weavile, but it's like a last resort switching in. I do have Cynthia for Weavile to do a lot of damage, and I can switch this in and then say extreme speed it to death. But I have other counters to Weavile to worry about. But this thing's gonna check Electivire, Skeptile. Between Spooks and Clifford, I feel like I have a good, solid defensive core in this game. And also preventing his rapid spinning. Like he's just gonna be helpless. Like Chris, I could tell Chris was pissed today when we were practicing because he just couldn't do anything. He was just looking through Kyle's Pokemon, trying to find a way to counter Gorgeist, and he couldn't find it. Next Pokemon, fifth Pokemon. I'm gonna try to wrap this up fast. Is Garchomp. You got the Rocky Helmet Rough Skin. This way, again, it's just gonna dwindle his Pokemon's health down. Glade, Absol, Trevenant, Weavile, Electivire. They try to hit me with a physical move. Most of them will make contact, say knockoff, Ice Shard. Basically, once I get my rocks up, this only is meant to check a Suicune setting up. But I doubt the Suicune will have I doubt it's gonna have Scald. But if I can switch this into Electivire, say, and he switches out, my Dragon Tail allows me to play with the hazards a bit more. Allows me a way to take his Pokemon out of the game or put them on the bench if they're stacking up their stats. Earthquake, Stone Edge are solid hitting options. They hit Charizard, they hit Thundurus, which are two threats I don't really have a physical attack towards, which is good. Clifford does a fair amount, but other than that, Garchomp is the only Pokemon I really have to touch Thundurus and Charizard, which is why the hazards will be important in this game, especially the rocks. So once Garchomp gets his rocks up, that's going to be a good situation for me. Toxic spikes aren't necessary. I'd prefer one spike, one rock, just so I can get like 20, 25 to 18 to even like 50% damage on Pokemon when they switch in. And Kyle's gonna have to do a lot of switching into my team, being as defensive as it is. Um, and then I was running physically defensive, but the special defensive allows me to take hidden power ices from Thundurus, so I can like switch in on the T wave and then Stone Edge. So I might put a bit of special defense into attack, just so I can kill it with the Stone Edge. And if I can't kill it with like I want to do like 100% to it, because I don't want it to like go to 90% or like to 10%. Sorry, me do 90 to it, and then it'd still be alive, so it eats the citrus berry, and then it just like hops back up like 40%, because then it's just gonna kill me with the second um, hidden power ice. So that won't be that helpful, but you know, it's gonna do what it does. And then I also have Calvin to switch in between. The last Pokemon, yeah, especially defensive. I threw a bit of speed investment. I don't know what I'm trying to outspeed. I just kind of like knew I didn't want it to be slow. So the 260 mark was pretty good. I might see if I need to make it higher, lower. I don't know. But between Scald and Sludge Wave, I hit a fair amount of things. I hit the Sylveon. I hit the Sceptile. I hit the Charizard. The Trevenant. It doesn't do much to Trevenant, the Sludge Wave, but you know, because apparently Ghost resists poison. Didn't know that. Haze again for Suicune. I don't want this guy, or Charizard. I do not want this guy setting up on me. And even if he does bring Charizard, I don't think I'll have to switch my team up that much. I might switch one Pokemon out, just so like I might switch one Pokemon out that was meant to counter um, Sceptile, but I don't really think I have a Sceptile counter per se. But there's Toxic Spikes. If I can get all this stuff statused, the only things he has in the air are Thundurus and Charizard, and once Charizard Mega Evolves, it's not airborne anymore. So almost everything, all but one thing on his team, will be in threat of Toxic Spikes. And then he's going to be like, oh, I need to switch into Hitmontop to get these hazards away. Well, joke's on you, because not Gastron, Gorgeist is going to come in there and be like, hey, what's up? And, yeah, where's that knockoff, Kyle? Because Hitmontop doesn't get it. Hitmontop's best moves are Pursuit and Aerial Ace to hit Gorgeist. So that's going to be funny. Yeah, it was funny seeing Chris squirm trying to figure out a way to kill Gorgeist, but I mean, I could tell it was getting annoying. So hopefully if I bring that into the game against Kyle, I'll be fine. Because, you know, Kyle, you beat me week 2, made me suffer my first loss, but now I'm out for revenge. So it's going to be a good game. Best of luck. I hope to make your record below 500. Let me go to 6-3 and you go to 4-5. But I mean, if we tie, we tie. At a 5-4 record. But I'm pretty confident in this team. My phone's buzzing, so I'm pretty sure. Like I sent this to like 5 people. So yeah, Steven and Sean have messaged it. So Mark, I tried looking at it. Chris looked at it. Fair amount. I might send it to Brandon and Ty and Alex. See if they want me to look at I think I looked at Alex's team already. I don't know. I'll see what I do. But I do have a busy week, so I might have to log off now. I will see you at the battle though. It's gonna be a good week. I have a good feeling about this. I went into week 2 nervous and like jittery because I was like, Kyle's a good opponent. It's gonna be a rough battle, and then I threw it. I lost. It would have been a much different game if I just clicked Psyshock or Psychic on the Reuniclus instead of switching out, because Kyle didn't go for T-Wave, and I didn't want Reuniclus to be T-Waved, but he didn't go for it. So I would have it would have just like dropped dead, and then I would have been like, yeah, I basically win. But you know, you make mistakes, you learn. That's why you don't set up too early, because moments like that happen and you just waste 3 turns setting up for no reason. But I will see you guys later. Peace out.